Hello and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved. In the last video, we did a virus on Mega Brutal, went pretty well. It was released on Christmas Day, no less, so it was the Tinsel Pox. Enjoyed that. Now, at the end of the video, I requested that people leave comments suggesting what Plague we should play next, because now I've actually done them all, but I haven't done them all on Mega Brutal. Although I did specifically point out, please do not do the Necroa Virus, because that one is hard as hell. The problem is, before I've even read any comments on the video, just because I brought that up, I can almost guarantee that some people, if not the vast majority of people, are going to be requesting the Necroa Virus, because you guys are trolls like that. So, I'm going to go ahead and just start preemptively working on a Mega Brutal video for the Necroa Virus right now, just because I'm fully expecting you guys to do that. Maybe I'm just a cynic. It could be possible that I am very cynical, but we're going to try it anyway. Now, I did practice a little bit with the Necroa Virus on Brutal difficulty, managed to find a strategy that worked, and I beat Brutal, so now everything's on Brutal or Mega Brutal difficulty. That's pretty good. We're going to try to employ the same strategy I used that worked in Brutal on Mega Brutal. It's a bit of a jump for us. The Necroa Virus is really tough, at least for me, but we're going to try to make it work. Alright, as far as our genetic code, Metabolic Jump is what we're going to be picking instead of Catalytic Switch. Now, the reason is the Necroa Virus is going to get detected fairly early on. It's going to be pretty lethal and severe. People are going to hear it very quickly. We're going to have only a very short time window for Catalytic Switch to actually be useful to us. So this is not a good choice, unlike all the other Mega Brutal games I have done thus far. Whereas the early game advantage of having a lot of DNA from spreading throughout a lot of countries is actually going to be pretty good for us. So Metabolic Jump actually is a good choice. ATP boost maybe as well for bonus DNA at the beginning, but I think in the short term, Metabolic Jump will end up having more DNA than ATP boost. So we're going to go with that. Darwinist, because we actually do want increased chances, I should say, of Plague Mutation. That'll actually save us some points. It will require a little bit of luck, but it'll make things easier. And, depending on if you mutate the right symptom, it could make or break the game. You never know. So we're going to try it. Aerosite is what I'm going to be picking this time around, because we will be starting off in Saudi Arabia, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. Extremophile is pretty good, as usual, jack of all trades. If there were an option to be more resistant in cold climates, I would consider it. But there isn't, so we might as well go for the jack of all trades, Extremophile. Now, as far as the specific Necroa Virus genes, this is where things start to get a little bit muddy. I did previously beat this game with Cytopathic Boost, which means your infected corpses, i.e. the people who are already dead before the zombie virus actually turns people into zombies, will actually reanimate as a zombie. So that means that there's no penalty, really, to having very early game lethality. Anybody you kill still has a chance of coming back as a zombie and giving you that early game boost. Autolytic Reduction and Thermonecro and Spliced Activation I just don't think are actually all that good. Dopamine Inhibitor is something I'm going to try. And I didn't do this for my brutal attempt, but we'll try it. Increases the chance of a zombie victim becoming a zombie. Because I'm going to go for a lot of early game aggression with my zombies. I want these guys to kill as many people as quickly as possible. So, if this helps to increase their numbers so that they can kind of hit a critical mass and sort of exponentially increase the number of zombies I'm using, okay, that sounds good to me. So we'll try it. Mega Brutal, of course, this is what we're going to do as, whatever. Now, as far as a name for our Necroa Virus, last time I think we did the Munchies. This time around, I've already picked out a name, and the reason is simple. When I was growing up, as a kid, I had a terrible habit of biting my own nails, and more than that, nibbling at the skin on my fingertips around the nails. Just kind of bit that off, especially whenever it got wet and, kind of puffy and raisiny. Yeah, I would just, bite that off. My mother, of course, rightly pointed out that that is a disgusting habit, and she sometimes would tell me that it's like, that I could turn into a zombie if I keep doing things like that, which did not dissuade me at all, I'll point out, but either way, that is why we are going to be calling this disease Finger Nibbler. The finger nibblers. So children beware, if you bite your nails and you nibble off the skin of your fingertips, I don't care how delicious it might seem. It's not, by the way, but I don't care how delicious it might seem, it might turn you into a zombie. At least in my game, so don't do it. Alright, welcome to Plague Inc. We'll select a start location. Now, I did say I was going to pick Saudi Arabia, and there's a pretty good reason for that. First off, we are going to have to take a different strategy than we've done for my other two Mega Brutal playthroughs, with the virus and the parasite. This time around, we're going to get detected early on no matter what. There's really no reason to delay that. I mean, I don't really care that much. It's just going to happen. Because we're going to have really high severity, even some lethality, pretty early on. So starting in a rich, developed country doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Instead, we want to pick a country that is a good gateway to as much of the world as possible. Now, Saudi Arabia is a pretty awesome choice for that. Egypt also could be pretty decent, but I like this one better. Saudi Arabia's airport hits up very different places throughout the world. It'll hit up the USA, it can hit up a lot of Europe, Russia, and China, I think. I think it'll even hit up some of Indonesia and Brazil, whereas the ports will hit up most of Africa, and I think a couple more islands in India as well. I'm pretty sure. Either way, Saudi Arabia is in a good central location just to hit up very different areas of the world, and it's in a nice central location so you can infect all of northern Africa and all of Southeast Asia pretty early on as well. So, just by land borders. So I like Saudi Arabia for that reason, and we're going to depend very heavily on that early game spread. Hence why we picked up the not catalytic switch, whichever one that is, that gives us the bonus DNA from red boosts, or bubbles, or something. I don't know, I'm having a hard time talking today. But either way, we're going to pick that up, and now we're going to bump up to speed 3. And once we have 3 points, we'll pick up our first transmission ability. There it is. And that would be Zoonotic Shift. Now, the genetic shift in the virus increases infectivity, mutation chance, and makes cross-species infection possible. It does increase future research speed, but that doesn't matter because we're going to get cured, I guarantee it. Now, the reason this is good is because we're going to be relying a little bit on the extra mutation chance, just kind of some RNG, as far as saving us a lot of DNA points, possibly getting the right symptom at the right time. Really hoping that that's going to work out for us. So the more species that we have infected, the higher our mutation chance is going to be. We might as well try to make this synergized. So we're going to do that with Zoonotic Shift. Yeah, that should be fine. We're going to do Zoonotic Shift, basically. I'm going to be picking up pretty much the transmissivity options from every single species. Insects, bats, birds, and rats. In fact, we're going to go for insects first because we are starting off in a hot climate and everything nearby is a hot climate, so we will spread through our neighbors pretty early on. Let's go ahead and do that. Bats will be next on our agenda. They're harder to detect, which is, I'm not really sure how that factors into the game's mechanics. I guess it means that even though you have increased transmissivity, you're less likely to get detected? I don't know. Either way, bats are pretty effective. They're going to have really high infectivity. But anything else? Like rats, are better in urban regions. Bats, I don't know. That doesn't really say. It just says they're hard to detect. Either way, though, you can't argue with the results. So we're going to pick the bats. Next, we'll go for rats. They're pretty cheap. Then we'll go for birds. And we'll have finished with every single species. It's going to take 10 DNA points. For some reason, I thought it would be 7, but I am wrong. Insomnia just mutated for free. Okay, I mean, it's not bad, I guess. Not quite what I had in mind, but we'll work with it. Rodents level 1 for our urban regions, which will be good when we hit up places like India. We're starting to spread a little bit. Pylons, vital to high-tech society. You have not enough pylons. Again, that is a StarCraft reference. For those of you who don't know what that is, I do feel very sorry for you, because StarCraft is awesome. Okay. We need birds. That's 17, right? Yes, 17 DNA points will be required for that. Now, as soon as we've managed to get all the transmissivity from level 1 of animals, then we'll look at picking up level 2 in probably bats. Now, the reason we're not looking toward beelining that is level 1 will increase your infectivity and a little bit of severity across the board, but once you hit up level 2, then you get a lot of severity and some lethality. That's going to increase our detection rate just a little bit sooner than I intend. Now, it's not like that is the end of the game. I mean, just because you get detected and you get cured does not mean you're done. Not by a long shot. It just means you have a little less time to respond. It just makes things a little bit tighter. Hypersalivation just mutated for free, so we now have tier 1 of both of these, which is okay. It just managed to save us, 13 points, 12 points, I think, in total, which is pretty good. That's why the extra mutation can be useful. It just requires a little bit of luck. All right, so we hit up Iceland, we hit up the UK, we're spreading, okay, we're on all the continents now. We even hit up Australia pretty early on, that's good. We are detected, which is to be expected, so I'm not really worried about it. So let's go ahead and pick up Bat level 2. Yes, this means that they're going to kill some people, but the extra severity is going to be good. Now, why is severity so important? Because when I get my zombies and I'm going to start upgrading them, severity, I believe, is what's going to determine how good zombies are at killing people. And even though I'm upgrading bats and making bats more severe, that severity we're picking up, I think will still translate over to our zombies. Pretty sure. So that extra severity is going to be very valuable to me. We did hit up the US, we've hit up a lot of important places actually. We've got a fairly decent spread. All things considered, not bad. The important thing is that we do have a good foothold in South America, so Brazil will be able to hit up most of the neighbors with our zombie hordes if we so desire. We did get Mexico, which in theory will definitely give us a good supply of zombies to send into the US in case they get the cure out to the US before I can build up a proper stockpile of zombies. Hopefully the UK is going to be good. Iceland's nice because it means that ZCOM is less likely to set up there, and we have hit up some stuff as far as China and Indonesia and Africa. This is a reasonable spread, but I'm going to need a lot more than this. I'd like to hit up all of Africa. I'd like to hit up Russia in particular, and I'd like to hit up more of Europe. There's Russia, so that's a good sign. We did actually get into Europe, so that's good. So here's what's going to happen, all right? We've been detected pretty soon, especially now that we're killing people. They're going to start working on the cure. Very quickly, everyone is going to decide that this is a super dangerous disease, and they're going to throw a ton of cure progress. This thing's going to go by so quickly, there's nothing I can do about it. So ideally, we'll start developing zombies and letting them kill people before they can distribute the cure. We'll have just even like a dozen zombies in the UK will give us an advantage. We'll start spreading and biting people, and even one. It's like in Halo. A single flood spore can destroy a world. It's kind of the same concept. We want a foothold in as many places as possible. It doesn't matter how many people are infected. It just is important how many places we have a foothold, and we'll need to develop those zombies before the cure becomes too bad. All right. Watch list. So, okay, good. So they've detected us there. So far, though, this disease is very non-threatening, guys. Don't be too worried. It just makes bats go crazy. Just go kill all the bats. No problem. Polyphagia just developed for free. Actually, that's pretty good for us because this is the branch that I will be going down primarily, if given the choice. So this means that basically people have the munchies. They're compulsively hungry. And the lack of hygiene increases risk of infection. Next, we'll probably want gastroenteritis, which is the inflammation of the GI tract, which causes vomiting, much higher infectivity, and that will lead into cannibalism, so people will feel compelled to bite other people. Then we can start with the Necroa Virus. That's going to cost us a lot of points, and we want to stockpile at least a bit. In the meantime, how are we looking? That's a pretty darn good spread. I'm actually feeling really good about this one. I'd like to hit up a bit more of Eastern Europe, because the Baltic states is in pretty common location, at least for me, for ZCOM to start. I just want to have access to whatever country ZCOM starts in. I want to have access with a ready horde of zombies to crush them before they can get too strong. Your entire game ultimately will depend upon that. Your ability to crush ZCOM pretty much instantaneously. We're actually doing really well. We have 103 points and we have 21% cure progress. I'm going to go ahead and develop cold level 1 because I would like to see increased infectivity in places like Canada. I'd like to hit up Greenland or Iceland a little bit more, Scandinavia, just some of the northern regions. Okay, this is not good, so this is going to increase their ability to cure the disease, so it's going to be a little bit faster, a little bit more of a time crunch. Look how fast that's going now. Wow, that's bad. Alright, let's go ahead and start working toward gastroenteritis and cannibalism, and once they get pretty close, like about 90% of the cure, we're going to start rushing down the lethality tree and have our zombies start killing off as many people as possible. Spain is leading the cure effort, no surprise there. Well, I guess it is a surprise because it doesn't really matter, but oh, wow, that is going by really fast. Really fast. Okay. Now that we're at 85%, that's actually probably good enough. So we're going to pick up cytopathic reanimation. Now this means that basically, if somebody is dead, they'll become a zombie. The something about damaged cells and restoration of low-level vitals and neural structures and blah, blah, blah. Basically this thing. Something you saw in The Walking Dead Season 1. Same concept. So let's go ahead and pick that up. And then immediately after is anaerobic resuscitation. Infected brain cells switch to anaerobic respiration. Lactic acid buildup is lethal and destroys high brain processes and personality. So now the dead are going to turn into zombies, and this is going to prompt our disease to start killing people off so that they can become zombies as quickly as possible. So we'll pick that up. Now we're going to focus on the right-hand side of things. This is more combat ability for your zombies. This one is more like infective and better hunting like civilians, but we're going to worry more about ZCOM than anything else. So enhanced motor control will mean that these zombies are going to be particularly severe in urban environments, which is good because a lot of the places that we want to infect pretty early on are urban. I'm thinking mostly Europe. So that'll actually work out pretty well for us. So now, in one fell swoop, we're going to have the dead turn into zombies, we're going to have the disease kill a bunch of people and turn them into zombies, and these zombies are going to be really dangerous in urban environments, and because of the genes we picked, they're going to have a better chance of creating more zombies to go forth and spread, and so we've kind of hit an exponential curve there, at least I'm hoping we do. Now, we can pick up some extra stuff here. For example, Peptide Surge is not so bad. This would increase severity, which again increases the effectiveness of your zombies, so that's good. Acid Reflux, again, increases severity, and it gives zombies a combat advantage. Very important for fighting ZCOM, so we're going to do that. And now we have to stock up some more points. So yeah, we just spent a lot pretty quickly, but there we go. Hopefully we can kill people in every country before they distribute the cure. I'm taking in places like the USA, even though it says we did infect them. Look at that, 0 zombies. There are some infected people, but none of them had died yet and turned into zombies. In fact, we can't even see how many people are infected anymore because at this point in the game, that's considered totally irrelevant. Who cares? 100% cure progress, so we're going to watch our infectivity really starting to disappear, but we should be seeing our zombie count start to explode, which would be good. Autophagia just developed for free, so congratulations, people now have a compulsivity to bite themselves, which basically means finger nibbling is, like, legit. People actually are feeling compelled to nibble their fingers. Haha, I find that funny. Alright, let's go ahead and pick up Nausea Mortis. Muscle growth around submandibular duct lets some zombies projectile spit at prey, increases severity, and again, that combat advantage. Very important. Wherever ZCOM spawns first is where we're going to want to march as quickly as we can. Alright, so we don't have any zombies pretty much anywhere as far as Europe. We have virtually none in Russia. We do have a lot in China and India, though. That's not surprising. We even have a few in Kazakhstan, which is good, because even this small number will explode and just eat up all of Kazakhstan. Not worried about it. Mexico is going to give us access to the USA pretty early on. Brazil throughout all of South America. Africa, not too worried about it. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we have zombies anywhere in Australia either, so that's not so good. We should be saving up for autothesis, or autothesis. Explosive mix of hydrogen, sulfide, and methane collects inside zombies. Basically, they stop farting, lots of gases build up, and then they have a chance of just outright exploding. Significant increased severity and combat advantage. Again, very important for ZCOM. Alternatively, though, we're going to want to go ahead and pick up Horde Instinct, which allows us to control some zombies to travel to neighboring countries, and we're going to go ahead and increase that to Horde mentality so that we don't have just like 5 zombies wander over into the neighbor. We have a few hundred, if not a few thousand. That'll be good. Now that's going to cost us DNA points every time we do that, so we need to be careful. I'm going to go ahead and spread from China into Russia, because Russia is actually going to be a pretty good location for us to start off. Mexico is an anarchy, people are turning into zombies, blah blah blah. We've actually killed everybody in Mexico, they are all zombies, so let's send them up into the United States. We have a lot of points coming through just from the sheer number of people we killed because we did have China and India fully infected, so those guys died off really quick. So as far as Brazil, we actually do have, hang on, okay, I need to slow this down because I'm going to be pausing a lot, and every time I hit Z, and move the zombies, it's going to automatically unpause. That's going to cause problems for me. Now we can look here, every country that's highlighted in white, we already have zombies. That's telling us we can move zombies from this country into a neighbor. So for example, from the USA into Canada, which is not highlighted. So from this, I actually can see that I have at least a meager zombie presence in a lot of places. Not bad, all things considered. We are going to have to worry about some of these island nations, so the Caribbean, Madagascar, New Guinea, Australia, New Zealand, Greenland, and Iceland are all very high priorities to transfer to. And then all of Europe is a problem for us. So I'm going to go ahead and preemptively start sending what few zombies we've created in the US into Canada so that we'll have access to Greenland and then to Iceland, because that's a pretty common starting location for ZCOM. And Europe is particularly concerning to me as well, because basically wherever ZCOM starts, I want immediate access to so I can kill it before it becomes powerful. My Mega Brutal success will hinder upon that. Alright, now as far as symptoms, let's go ahead and pick up autophasis or autophysis, whatever it is, because again, this is going to be very strong against ZCOM when I have that. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Enhanced Sensory Integration. Now this is going to increase the sight and hearing of your zombies so they're more severe, better at killing civilians, but this also will lead to a combo, I believe, with acid reflux, probably? I think it's these two. I think it's enhanced sensory integration and acid reflux will encourage people to start spitting. Oh, maybe no. Maybe it's nausea mortis. Either way, we're going to have the spitter combo if we're lucky. So our zombies are better at detecting people and knowing exactly where to shoot? I don't know. Something like that. And that should increase our severity a lot. These dark bubbles mean that we've killed off the entire country. It's all zombified, and we do get DNA points for doing so. So I'm not worried at all about any of South America, which is actually quite good. It means I don't have to worry about transferring people around. I do need to worry about the Caribbean, because zombies can't get there over on their own anymore. More DNA for us means more transfer. Let's go ahead and send some guys over to Madagascar. Let's send some guys over to Australia. Looks like ZCOM is going to start in Norway. Russia does have access to Norway, which is why I wanted Russia so badly. So that's actually good. Hopefully we'll get some zombies over here before it's too late, before ZCOM can reinforce, and then we'll just start crushing them. Balkan states will go up into Central Europe. Again, this is costing me a few points every time I do this, but again, this early spread is going to be really important for us, so let's do it. Okay. We're getting the red bubbles, too, for infecting new countries for the first time, which is actually great. So, for example, let's hit at Poland, and we'll get some of our points back for spreading here, I think. Yep, there we go. That's pretty good. Now, Norway. Ooh, that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I'd like to pick up dermal calcification, but that's going to cost us 27 points. ZCOM has set up a base. I need these zombies to arrive from Russia post-haste, please. Oh, they immediately set one up in the UK. That's really bad, actually, so we need to start working our way to there as quickly as we can. Probably from Central Europe into France. So we'll do that. They'll arrive immediately. And then let's send some guys from France to the UK. Now, they have to cross the water, which isn't so good, but we're going to try anyway. Now, we have some zombies in Norway, and they're increasing in number, not decreasing, which means that ZCOM isn't strong enough to fight them back yet because of the advantages I gave myself. In fact, we're going to increase the likelihood of that by picking up dermal calcification, which only gives a combat advantage, not severity. That's fine, because right now my zombies need to go off and fight a war, not kill innocent civilians. Not worried about them. Alright, we have zombies in the UK. They're growing, little bit by little bit, which is important. As long as these numbers keep going up, we're okay. I think we actually have a good shot at that. Think so. Would love to see that spitter combo come into play, though, because it's a little bit behind the times here. Alright, Canada, Greenland hasn't been hit up, so let's hit up that island nation. We did manage to automatically infect Sweden, so that's good. What are we missing? New Zealand, some islands over here. Didn't we send some guys over to the Caribbean? Yeah, they haven't arrived yet. That's the only problem. So Australia will go to New Zealand. We'll go from Indonesia into New Guinea. We'll go from China, we'll go from Korea into Japan. So we'll hit up all those island states before we forget, so we can't possibly mess that up. And that's enough points to send some guys from Southeast Asia into the Philippines. Good. So if we can just get some guys over to Iceland, then in theory, we're going to have every nation infected. Again, the numbers are still going up, and the higher this gets, the more of that critical mass will hit, that exponential curve, and then we'll just completely explode out of control. So as long as these numbers are going up, I'm feeling fairly comfortable. Now we're not going to get a lot of points, so it's going to take a lot of luck, I think, before we know for sure that we're going to win. But we're in a better position than usual. This is not actually half bad, and this is actually my first attempt at doing this on Mega Brutal. The last time I tried was the game crashed, unfortunately, and I lost my progress, so I had to scrap that attempt at the video. But this is my first attempt, full attempt. I'm not going to lose and just redo it. I think I actually could win this one. It's very possible. Norway is starting to hit that critical mass. I'm just guessing by the fact that it's turning dark. UK is still growing pretty strong. Yeah, we're looking good. Have we hit up everywhere? Yes. Everywhere except for Italy, Spain, Germany, Iceland, and Greenland. Anything I'm missing? Yes, New Zealand. But those guys are on their way. So once these guys arrive in Greenland, we'll send them off to Iceland. Let's send some French zombies down to Spain and the Iberian Peninsula. Spitter finally developed. There it is. That'll increase their severity pretty strongly. I like that. Let's also send some guys into Germany. And let's send some guys into Italy. There we go. I'm wasting a lot of points. Technically, this probably would happen on its own, but I'm feeling okay about it. We're completely in control of Norway. We're going to win that fight against ZCOM, no problem. UK is still having a hard time, but our zombie numbers are growing rather rapidly. I think we've got this. Amazingly enough, I think we actually have this. Greenland zombies, go forth onto Iceland. I could technically send some of the Norwegian zombies into Iceland. Then it'd be undead Vikings going forth and slaughtering all the innocents. Be kind of funny, but we're not going to bother. So at this point, because we've snowballed out of control at the only 2 locations with ZCOM, and we should have everywhere infected, except for Iceland, at this point, I think it's a win. So let's bump up. ZCOM destroyed in Norway, no survivors, that's good. Boop, boop, boop. So Norway's been completely annihilated at this point. Okay, so the ZCOM just got stronger in the UK, but almost everyone's already a zombie. So yeah, actually, even though they did grow stronger, it doesn't matter. We already had hit that critical mass just early enough. You can see here, it still died. So at this point, let's just check every nation that doesn't look like it has a lot of zombies. Let's send some of the Swedish guys into Finland. Let's send some of the French into Iberia. Again, let's send some Russians into the Baltic states. And let's send some Central Europeans into... which one is this? Ukraine. Right. I should know that, you would think, but I didn't. All right. And I think that's it, actually. Wow, I think on Mega Brutal we've actually got this down. Not bad. We'll go for Lumbrical Hypertrophy, or actually no. I like Cranial Elephantitis a little bit better. More combat advantage. Just to give you an idea, if you're having trouble with ZCOM, you pretty much want to take these 3 next, instead of Adrenal Surge, which I guess we mutated for free. But yeah, if you had to pick more symptoms and you got a lucky spread, you didn't have to keep hitting up a bunch of new nations with your zombies and your horde mentality, then these are the 3 you want to go for, probably, in order to beat ZCOM in a head-up fight. But yeah, that should be it. Okay, so now we're just waiting for the world to fall apart, and it has officially destroyed humanity. The only thing left are zombies. And that's it, victory! Necroa Mastered achievement unlocked. How nice. We actually got 4 stars on that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I feel really happy about that, honestly. Necroa Virus has been my bane for a very long time. So beating on a Mega Brutal, just telling you what, makes me feel invincible, like I can do just about anything. Oh, sure, there's still bioweapon and nanovirus and other hard things like that, but still, this is pretty good. Pretty darn good. All right, well, excellent. Now I don't have to worry about my viewers saying, oh, do the hardest one in the game, please. Yeah, it's done. You happy? I hope you're happy. Oh, look at those hordes of zombies. I think it actually does matter where you click on the country to tell them to go to a neighboring country. Like, I think I clicked... No, maybe not. No, okay. I don't think so. I think I'm wrong on that point. I was gonna say, I think that where you click from your host nation of zombies is going to determine where the zombies start, so there's less travel time if you do it closer to the border, but it doesn't look like from this replay that it does that. Actually, this replay isn't even doing all that well. It looks like it hasn't even managed to affect Ukraine, which we know that's not true. Meh, whatever. 582 days, 4 stars, I call that all pretty good, and that, guys, is my strategy for the Necroa Virus. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I, as always, will see you guys next time.